There comes a time when those who have caused you harm must finally face the weight of their own actions. The universe has a way of balancing the scales, and now the consequences they have long evaded are unfolding before them. They thought they could hurt you and others without ever having to answer for it, believing they were somehow beyond the reach of justice. They carried themselves with a sense of arrogance, relying on their connections, manipulation, or sheer confidence to shield them from accountability. But life does not operate under their illusions. Every action carries a consequence, and now those consequences are knocking on their door. This isn't the first time they have inflicted pain upon someone. In fact, they have made a habit of it. Their repeated patterns of cruelty and negativity have left a trail of hurt behind them. They seem to draw energy from the chaos they created, thriving on the suffering of others, feeding off the control and power they believed they had. Yet what they failed to realize was that the very negativity they put into the world would become their own burden. They built traps, set snares, and wove webs to ensnare others, but in the end they have found themselves caught within the very trap they designed. You may have felt the weight of their actions pulling you down, causing confusion, pain, and even making you question your own light. They tried to rob you of your energy, to dim your spirit, and to steal the joy that naturally radiated from you, simply because they lacked it within themselves. Their intention was never to see you flourish, but to hinder your growth, to hold you back from the blessings and success that were meant for you. Out of desperation, they resorted to manipulation, deceit, and harmful tactics, hoping to feed off your efforts or to take what never belonged to them. But the truth remains unshakable. No one escapes the laws of life. What you give, you receive. The energy you put out returns, and now they are being handed exactly what they sowed. Whether through visible legal consequences or a profound spiritual reckoning beyond what the eyes can see, they are paying for their wrongdoings. The storm they created for others has finally found its way home. They spent so much time pretending to be above everyone else, putting on a mask of superiority as if they were untouchable. Yet now, the very actions they tried so hard to conceal have finally exposed them. Those who scatter harm and negativity into the world cannot outrun the truth forever. The lies they so carefully crafted, the cruelty they shamelessly inflicted, and the deceitful schemes they spun are all unraveling before their eyes. They used to belittle others, making people around them feel small, powerless, and insignificant. But life is fairer than they thought. Now they are the ones who must carry the weight of their own actions, the burden of guilt, shame, and regret pressing heavily upon them. Your light, however, remains untouched. Despite their attempts to dim it, it shines as brightly as ever, and no one, no matter how dark their intentions, can ever truly take it away from you. Some of these individuals even dared to present themselves as friends. They smiled in your face, spoke sweet words, and acted as though they genuinely cared for you and your journey. But deep down, their hearts were never aligned with yours. They didn't desire your well-being. Instead, they wanted to bask in your glow, to appear kinder and better simply by standing next to you. They weren't interested in healing themselves or becoming better people. They had no intention of growing, changing, or doing the work required for inner peace. They just craved the appearance of goodness, without any of the effort, hoping that being close to you would elevate them. At first, you may have believed their act. You may have trusted that they would stand beside you through thick and thin. But over time, the truth revealed itself through their behavior. Their loyalty was never real. It was always about their image, their hidden agenda, and their selfish motives. They lied, they manipulated, and they pretended. But thankfully, you were able to see through the mask. You trusted your intuition and made one of the most powerful decisions of your life. You walked away. Choosing to remove them from your life was not just a necessary act. It was an act of courage and self-love. By doing so, you protected your peace, your energy, and your light. These people, who once acted like they were above others, used their influence and power to manipulate, control, and even hurt those who were vulnerable. They found amusement in the struggles of others, mocking their pain, and finding satisfaction in other people's suffering. They truly believed they could get away with it, laughing while others cried, thriving while others struggled. But life, with all its unseen forces and divine timing, always finds a way to restore balance. Now they are forced to experience the very things they once inflicted on others. They are facing humiliation, rejection, loss, and the same emotional wounds they caused in others. The same people they mocked, belittled, and tried to break are now witnessing their fall. They can no longer hide behind their false confidence or empty smiles. The consequences they once believed they could outrun have caught up to them. It is no longer just rumors or whispers, and it is reality. The symbolic handcuffs of justice, whether visible or spiritual, have locked around them, and there is no escaping this reckoning. As kind and forgiving as you may be, do not feel guilty for them. They had many chances to change. They had opportunities to heal, to be better, and to release the destructive patterns they chose to hold on to. But they refused. Their choices have led them to this moment. Remember, they almost succeeded in pulling you down into their chaos. They almost made you question your own path, your worth, and your light. But you, through strength and wisdom, chose to rise above. Now is the time to surround yourself with those who genuinely uplift you, those who celebrate your victories, support your growth, and cherish your presence without envy or hidden motives. Be mindful of who you allow into your circle, for the people around you shape not only your environment but your destiny. Sadly, there will always be those who live with destructive intentions, choosing manipulation over love and harm over healing. But you have the power to choose differently, and you did. There are people who go through life leaving a trail of broken hearts, wounded souls, and shattered trust behind them. They cause harm, sometimes with calculation, sometimes carelessly, yet always without a shred of remorse. They operate without empathy, as if the suffering they create holds no weight. These individuals are dangerous, not because they are powerful, but because they are empty. Empty of compassion, empty of love, empty of the qualities that make a person whole. If you've ever encountered someone like this, you know how unsettling it is. They wear a mask so convincing that, for a time, you might believe it. They present themselves as kind, helpful, understanding, sometimes even spiritual or noble. They know how to say all the right words, how to appear as someone you can trust, and how to slip into your life as if they belong there. But no matter how convincing their performance is, their actions always reveal the truth. Their real nature is far from what they pretend to be. Slowly, behind every smile, every carefully crafted compliment, and every empty promise, you begin to notice the cracks. The manipulation, the small betrayals, the subtle controls all start to surface. And by the time you fully realize it, you may have already been entangled in their web of deception. Yet no matter how much you wish to give them the benefit of the doubt, no matter how much you hope they will change, there comes a point where you must accept the truth. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. It is one of the hardest yet most liberating lessons you will ever learn. Do not make excuses for their behavior. Do not let pity or the desire to save them cloud your judgment. They are not lost or unaware. They thrive on negativity. They find comfort in stirring chaos and watching others scramble to make sense of the mess they leave behind. It feeds their illusion of control. Sadly, you are not the first person they have treated this way, and if they do not change, you will not be the last. These individuals walk into people's lives pretending to bring light only to cast a shadow. They take and take your energy, your peace, your joy, leaving you drained, doubting yourself, and wondering what you did wrong. But it was never you. It was them all along. However, what they fail to understand is that no one, no matter how cunning, can avoid the universal law of consequences. Every choice, every action, every intention, whether seen or unseen, creates a ripple. Those ripples eventually return, often when least expected, and they never miss their mark. The universe, God, life itself, will always bring things back into balance. And for these people, the balance is now arriving. Life is holding them accountable. They may try to hide, to deny, to blame others, or to act like victims themselves. But deep down, they know. They know that the struggles, losses, and emptiness they are experiencing are not random. They are the very seeds they planted. Some may even admit it, like the story of someone who once confessed that the hardships they were facing were the direct result of the pain they had caused others. At least that person had the courage to acknowledge it and begin the path of change. But others, like those who have wronged you, may still be stuck in their patterns, clinging to denial, refusing to take responsibility. Yet the consequences remain. Their punishments may come in many forms, some visible, like legal troubles, financial ruin, or public humiliation. Others invisible, like sleepless nights, heavy hearts, spiritual emptiness, or the inability to experience joy no matter what they achieve. They may lose relationships, opportunities, and even the simple ability to feel peace when alone with their thoughts. What they have stolen from others, whether it was love, trust, opportunities, or dignity, will inevitably be taken from them. The most powerful truth is that they have unknowingly built their own prison. It is a prison made not of bars and locks, but of guilt, shame, loneliness, and inner torment. They may still smile in public, still post carefully curated images of a perfect life, still put on the mask, but inside they are empty and restless. The life they tried so hard to control is slipping through their fingers. And no matter how much they scheme, manipulate, or try to shift the blame onto others, there is no escaping the hand of divine justice. Life always brings balance, even if it takes time. And as you witness this, do not allow guilt to weigh on your heart. It is not your fault. You gave them chances, compassion, and space to change. But they made their choices, and now they must live with them. Remember, they almost succeeded in dragging you into their pit. They almost made you lose sight of who you are. But you chose differently. You rose above it. You broke free. Now, it is time to continue forward, wiser and stronger, mindful of who you allow into your sacred space. You are not here to carry other people's karma. You are here to shine. Let life handle the rest. They will no longer have the freedom they once exploited to harm others, twist situations, and inject negativity into the lives of innocent people. The days when they could play puppet master, pulling strings behind the scenes to manipulate outcomes, have come to an end. Life, in its quiet but unstoppable way, has closed the door on their deceptive ways. The power they believed they had is slipping away like sand through their fingers, and no amount of pretending can restore it. No matter how much they scheme, no matter how loudly they try to mask their crumbling facade, the truth is undeniable. Their influence is fading, and they cannot stop it. It is important for you now more than ever to release them completely. Let them go, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Do not allow their darkness to dim the brilliance of your light. You have something within you that they could never steal. Your essence, your heart, your power. They tried to weaken you because they saw the strength you carried, a strength they lacked. But you do not have to carry their shadows anymore. Protect your energy as you would your most valuable possession. Guard your peace. Do not invite those who bring confusion, heaviness, or turmoil back into your sacred space. You owe it to yourself to choose light over darkness, healing over chaos. Trust, with your whole being, that justice, whether it is immediate or takes time, always finds its way to those who deserve it. You may not always witness it unfold directly, but know with certainty that no one escapes it. What they put into the world will always return to them. Those who tried to curse you with hardship, who spread negativity towards you either openly or behind your back, can no longer touch you. Their time is finished. The shield that once protected them from the consequences of their actions is gone, and they are now standing face to face with the reality they created. You see, in the past, they were able to disrupt your life, not because they were stronger than you, but because you were still awakening to your own power. You hadn't yet fully realized the magnitude of the light you carry. Maybe you doubted yourself, questioned your worth, or felt unsure about your path. That was exactly what they wanted. To keep you small, to make you believe you were weak, to blur your vision so you couldn't see the greatness inside you. But life, with all its wisdom, allowed you to go through this not to break you, but to prepare you. What you didn't know then, you know now. You have grown, you have learned, and you have stepped fully into your strength. Today, their manipulation no longer has a hold on you. The same tricks and lies they once used effortlessly now seem childish and transparent. They can no longer rob you of your joy or plant seeds of doubt in your mind. The tools they once used to keep you bound have become powerless against you. They thrived on fear, feeding off the insecurities they provoked in others. They disguised themselves as powerful by intimidating, controlling, and creating illusions of authority. But now you see them clearly. There is no more hiding behind masks. You see them for what they are: weak, empty, and consumed by their own illusions. The false sense of superiority they clung to has collapsed. The throne they sat on was never real. It was built on lies, manipulation, and the suffering of others. Now they stand exposed, stripped of their illusions, facing the consequences they tried so hard to avoid. Life has caught up with them, not out of vengeance, but because every cause inevitably creates an effect. Every energy sent into the universe must come back full circle. Understand this truth deeply. Life is a perfect cycle of actions and results. Whether you call it karma, the law of cause and effect, or divine justice, it makes no difference. The principle is the same. What is sown will be reaped. Every thought, every action, every intention leaves an imprint, and eventually it returns. Those who gave love, kindness, and truth will harvest peace and blessings. But those who chose harm, deceit, and selfishness have written their own fate. The negativity they poured into the world has now become the very weight they must carry. They are walking into the very storm they created. Their downfall is not by chance. It is not your responsibility, nor is it for you to feel guilty about. You did not curse them. They cursed themselves with their own actions. They created a prison, not just physically, but spiritually. Whether they face legal consequences, isolation, sleepless nights, or a deep emptiness that no material possession can fill, the reality is the same. Life is balancing the scales. And you are free. You are wiser. You are stronger. You no longer stand where you once stood. You have broken the chains, walked through the fire, and come out refined. Their darkness cannot reach you anymore because you have risen above it. Keep moving forward with confidence, knowing that you are protected, guided, and unshakable. And now, there is no escaping it. They must deal with the outcome of their actions. The illusions they once clung to have shattered, and they are left standing face to face with the consequences they never believed would come. They once moved through life as if they were untouchable, as if their charm, manipulation, or deceit would forever protect them from accountability. But life does not work that way. Sooner or later, every action demands a response. And now, they find themselves at the lowest point, weighed down by the very choices they made. They are struggling under the crushing pressure of guilt, loss, and regret, realizing that the power they thought they had was nothing but a fragile illusion. They can no longer even look you in the eye. They avoid you, not because you push them away, but because deep down, they know what they have done. They are haunted by the truth of their own actions. They are fully aware of the hurt they caused, the trust they betrayed, and the peace they tried to steal. And while they may not openly admit it, every time they think of you, they are confronted with the undeniable reality of what they did. You, on the other hand, have done what they could not. You have moved on. You've grown beyond the pain, beyond the confusion, beyond the fear. You have risen, not just survived, but transformed. Stronger, wiser, and more grounded. You stand tall while they remain shackled to the mistakes of their past. While they are still entangled in the web of lies and manipulations they spun, you have broken free. They thought they had won at some point, that their cruelty would leave you diminished, weakened, or lost, but in the end, it wasn't you who fell. It was them, undone not by others, but by their own actions. Their greatest opponent was never you. It was always themselves. And now look around. The tides are shifting. Life is realigning itself in your favor. You may have already begun to notice how blessings are appearing, sometimes gently, sometimes suddenly, but always with perfect timing. New doors are opening, new energy is flowing into your life, and situations are working out, often in ways you couldn't have imagined. What you once hoped for is now becoming your reality, piece by piece. The weight that once burdened your shoulders has lifted, and in its place is a sense of peace and quiet confidence. This is your reminder, loud and clear. Everything is working out for you. Even when you couldn't see it clearly, even when you doubted life was always conspiring in your favor. Every tear, every sleepless night, every unanswered question has led you here, to a space where you are finally free to receive the goodness you deserve. This is your season to embrace it. Take it in fully, open your heart to all the positive energy that is flowing toward you. Accept the love, the opportunities, the peace, and the breakthroughs that are arriving. Brighter days are not only ahead, they are already unfolding in front of you. And as for those who once caused you harm, know this: justice is being served. It is unfolding naturally, without your interference. You didn't have to plot revenge, you didn't have to lower yourself, you didn't have to play their games. Life itself, governed by laws far beyond human control, is taking care of everything. Every action they put into the world is returning to them, as it always does. No one escapes this. Whether you call it karma, divine law, or simply the natural order of things, it is happening. They are reaping exactly what they sowed. And the most beautiful part? You did not allow yourself to become like them. You did not allow bitterness to take root. You never wished them harm. You simply chose to be the light, to remain someone who uplifts rather than tears down. You decided to live differently, to be a reflection of love, kindness, and compassion even when you were surrounded by negativity. You chose to grow instead of shrink, to heal instead of harm, and to shine instead of dimming your light. And now you are beginning to see the fruits of that choice. There is a quiet, powerful freedom that comes from living this way. To know that your heart remained pure even when others tried to corrupt it is a victory far greater than any revenge. You have become a source of positivity, inspiration, and healing not just for yourself but for those around you. Your light has become contagious. Your energy now uplifts instead of burdens. Your presence brings hope instead of fear. As you take a moment to breathe, imagine the gentle breeze around you carrying blessings into your life. Love, joy, peace, abundance, and healing, all flowing toward you effortlessly. Allow yourself to soak in this goodness. Let it fill every corner of your soul. Be proud, deeply proud, of the path you've walked. You did not just survive, you thrived. And no matter what challenges you faced along the way, you are still standing, still growing, and still shining. The world is a better place because you chose love over hate, peace over chaos, and light over darkness. And because of that, brighter days are not only promised, they are already yours. That's all for today. Dear Father, I pray for the growth of my faith. Help me trust you even when physical evidence is lacking. Let me believe in your perpetual presence, knowing you will never harm me. I understand that your thoughts for me are thoughts of prosperity and not harm, to give me a good future. Thank you, gracious and eternal Father, for always listening to my voice. I offer up this prayer to you in the name of Jesus. Amen. Thank you, Jesus, for your love and provision. I am grateful for your presence in my life and the abundance you bring. If this video resonated with you, please like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with those who need to hear this message. Leave a comment below about your journey and how you are preparing for your own triumphant return. If you'd like to support our work, please consider contributing through Buy Me a Coffee. This helps us continually improve our content to offer you the best. The link to Buy Me a Coffee is in the description. No gift is too small. Whether it's a penny, a prayer, or a share, your generosity helps spread God's word and brings hope to others. Don't stop here. Watch our next video for powerful revelations about the signs that reveal you are the chosen one. We've enjoyed following this spiritual journey with you. Thank you for staying with us until the end. Keep shining brightly and embrace your destiny with courage. See you next time. Blessings to all the beautiful souls from the Enlighten Wisdom.